Hello guys, welcome to this video. In this video, we will discuss about how security is implemented in messaging apps. So, without further ado, let's get started. So, as we know, there are hundreds of messaging apps available at present, but there are only a few we really use and rely on. One of the distinguishing feature in deciding which app to use and which not to use is security. That is, how secure is our information while using that application. Messaging apps like WhatsApp, Signal, Viber, Line, or Facebook Messenger claims to be 100% secure. So, we will see what these companies have done to make these apps such secure. All these apps more or less use the same security method. So, I will continue further by taking one particular application, that is WhatsApp, and try to explain the implementation of security in WhatsApp. I think that will be much easy for you to relate and understand. So, the central idea behind the security and privacy of these messaging apps is the use of end-to-end encryption provided by Signal Protocol, which was developed by Open Whisper System, which is the best in breed protocol for these encrypted messaging applications. You guys can pause the video here to have a look on the figure and you will get to know why I choose WhatsApp here. Now, I will begin with what is Signal Protocol and how the use of this protocol makes the application secure. A Signal Protocol is a modern, open source, forward secure, strong encryption protocol for asynchronous messaging system. Here, asynchronous messaging system means one-way communication. That is, a client does not have to wait for a message from the server. An event is used to trigger a message from the server. So even if the client is down, or we can say not online, the message will complete successfully. In systems that deploy Signal Protocol, each client is cryptographically identified by a key pair composed of a public key and a private key. The public key is advertised publicly through the server, which is available to everyone, while the private key remains private on the user's device. That means security of chats, group chats, attachments, voice notes, and voice call across all the supported mobile platforms. In these messaging applications, Signal Protocol is used to provide end-to-end encryption for voice calls, video calls, and instant messaging conversations. The protocol was developed by Open Whisper System, as we know, in 2013 and was first introduced in open source text secure protocol, which later became Signal application. Several closed source applications, including WhatsApp, have implemented this protocol, such as Facebook Messenger, which offers the protocol for optional secret conversation, as does Skype for its private communication. Now, we will see how the use of Signal Protocol makes these applications more secure. Here's the comparison chart of the applications that uses other encrypted systems and the application that uses Signal Protocol. If we talk about the applications that uses other encrypted systems, in case of these applications, when the app is installed on a phone, it creates a permanent key pair that is used to encrypt and decrypt messages. Two keys are developed there. One public key that is sent to the messaging server and will be used to identify the user, and one private key that never leaves the user phone. If that private key is somehow compromised, however, like if someone hacks or seizes your phone, that potentially leaves all your messages vulnerable to decryption. Even if you have deleted messages from your phone, the key can decrypt any encrypted messages that eavesdropper have managed to record when they originally travel across the network. While the Signal Protocol uses a so-called racket system that changes the key after every message. It does this by generating a collection of temporary key pairs for each user, in addition to the permanent keys. When someone sends a message to a contact over an application using the Signal protocol, the application combines the temporary and permanent pairs of public and private key for both users to create a shared secret key that used to encrypt and decrypt the message. Since generating these secret key requires access to the user private key, it exists only on their own device. And the Signal protocol system of temporary keys, which is constantly filling up again for each user, allow it to generate a new shared key after every message. Now let's see how end-to-end encryption came into picture. WhatsApp at the time of release, that is at February 2009, was criticized for its lack of encryption and sending information as plain text, which can be read by any malicious actor in between. Even after the encryption was added in 2012, it has been a serious security problem. For example, the service provider who carries the unencrypted information could be hacked by an adversary or compromised by an insider, causing sensitive information to be leaked. Also, a fault in the service provider could cause data to be corrupted. So, for these reasons, security experts were pushed towards widespread use of end-to-end encryption, which reduces the exposure of such attacks. If I try to explain what is end-to-end encryption in a layman language, I would say that it is something that ensures that only you and the person you are communicating with can read what's sent. Nobody in between, not even WhatsApp, can read the messages. The messages are secured with locks, and only the recipient has the special key to unlock and read the messages. So far, end to end encryption is considered the most secure method for exchanging data online, and that is the reason that makes these apps such secure. End to end encryption allow encrypting messages at both ends of a conversation, that is, the sender and the receiver end. Such an approach prevents someone in the middle from accessing private information. The trick with end-to-end encryption is that no one except from the sender and the receiver has the private key needed to decrypt the messages. For many systems that we use in day-to-day life, such as email services and online chats, encrypted messages may still pass through a company's server where they are decrypted and stored before being delivered to the receiver. This possesses a real risk of users' private information being read or misused if a service provider's server is poorly protected. End-to-end encryption is considered safer as it minimizes the number of parties involved in the data encryption process. With end-to-end encryption, a server provider's server only work to pass messages, while the actual encryption or decryption procedure happens on users' devices. Now I hope whatever I have explained so far makes sense to you. As the result of end-to-end encryption, data is protected against tampering, surveillance, cyber criminals while it's transmitting and stored. The encryption key is stored locally for improved protection. Let's move further and see the working of end-to-end encryption. A more modern implementation of end-to-end encryption is asymmetric encryption, which uses a pair of keys to make secure communication possible. The keys that are used in asymmetric encryption is public key and private key. These are the same keys which we have seen in Signal protocol also. A public key is used to encrypt data transferred from sender to a receiver. A public key is usually generated by a server provider and is available through a public directory to anyone who wants to send encrypted messages. Whereas if we talk about private key, it is used to decrypt the content of a message encrypted with the public key. Only the receiver has the private key to unlock the message. Now we will see the stepwise working of end-to-end encryption in WhatsApp. Step 1 involves the generation of two different keys, that is the public key and the private key, which is done at the time of installation of the application. The encryption process takes place on the phone itself. Step 2 involves sending the message from one user to another user. In this step, the private key must remain with the sender, whereas the public key is transferred to the receiver via the centralized WhatsApp server. In step 3, the public key encrypts the sender's message on the phone even before it reaches the centralized server. The server is only used to transmit the encrypted message. The message can only be unlocked by the private key of the receiver. No third party, including even WhatsApp, can intercept and read the message. If a hacker or some malicious attacker tries to hack and read the messages, they would fail because of the encryption. And that's how end-to-end encryption works. Let's understand all this working with an example now. Let's say you want to message "Hello Alice" to your friend Alice in private using a secure end-to-end encrypted messenger. To do so, you are going to use Alice's private key to encrypt your message and turn it into so-called ciphertext. You will then send your encrypted message over the public internet. On this way, your message can pass through a number of messengers served. Still, the messenger itself won't be able to turn your ciphertext into plain text to read it. Only Alice with her private key can do so. And this is how security is implemented in these applications with end-to-end encryption, thus implementing security. I also want to share one thing with you guys, that is how you yourself can verify that your WhatsApp chats are end-to-end encrypted or not. To manually verify the encryption between the sender and the receiver, simply tap on the contact's name on WhatsApp to open the contact info screen. Now tap on encryption to view the QR code and 60-digit number. You can scan your contact's QR code or visually compare the 60-digit number. If you scan the QR code and if they match, then your chats are encrypted and no one is intercepting your messages or calls. So that's it for the video, guys. I hope whatever I have explained in this video you will find useful, and if you have any query or doubts, you can directly ask me in the comment section. I will try to explain them all. Thank you so much for watching.